What's up, everybody? Welcome back to D's Corners. This is your host, D, and this is Mock Draft Monday. We are going to do a full first round mock draft. I'm going to include trades. I feel like doing trades today. I am working on a bigger mock draft, one that I will put together myself without using the website. But, we're going to keep it rocking like we've been rocking with it. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. We already know who's going to be our first pick. Caleb Williams will be the first pick. He's already scheduled his visit with the Chicago Bears. He has not scheduled any other visits. It's more than likely that this will be the pick. It's actually been reported that it would be a shock if he schedules other visits. Now, my honest opinion, I think Caleb Williams is a really good quarterback. I don't think he is going to make Chicago. He's going to make an immediate impact. He may have a few games where you're like, okay, maybe he can play. I know we like to compare him to Patrick Mahomes because that's the new hottest thing to do is compare and contrast to Patrick Mahomes. But remember, Patrick Mahomes sat his first year. Caleb will be walking in as the guy. How mature is he about that? How will he rub his teammates? Will they Will he fit in and just be one of the guys? We'll won't know until it happens, but Caleb Williams will be the first overall pick. Now, here's where things could get a little tricky. It's been reported that um, Washington will meet with the next three quarterbacks. I think they're going to be extremely sensible when it comes to this pick. They have a pretty good amount of picks, pretty good set of cap, and they're kind of in a position to where your quarterback's going to have talented players to throw football to, and that's going to be Jaden Daniels. I know there's a lot of talk about what he is built like. He played just fine in the SEC. He'll get hit. I mean, that's part of the game. You get hurt in the pocket just like you do running the ball, in my opinion. Here, I think we will have our first trade. I think New England is going to be quite content with um, operating with Jacoby Brissett. This is a deep draft. Again, I will work on um, I try to get a full 7 round out before the draft. My next one, I'm going to try to do maybe 3 or 4 rounds, and that'll be next Monday. But like I said, I am working on a bigger draft. So we're going to go ahead, and I think this could be where Minnesota pulls the trigger to come up and get their guy. Now, don't worry. Obviously, don't worry about the picks that I'm selecting. I'm just making sure that my trades go through right now, and they're going to take Drake May. I think Drake May will be a player that he has some talent. I think he'll be a guy that he can sit for a few games, allow Sam Darnold to play, I guess. But this defense is pretty good. You still have weapons around him, so he's and it's a solid offensive line. They do have Aaron Jones now, so you have a good rushing attack. This is a good team. This is a good team. They're missing a signal caller, and they're going to have to really groom one kind of on the fly. We'll see if Drake May is able to be that guy. Now, I could also see here Arizona trading back. They have a butt ton of picks, but I'm just not going to pass up Marvin Harrison right here. I'm going to go and give Kyler Murray a bona fide target, someone who can um, make every freaking catch. He can run every route. Hall of Fame pedigree. It's almost just like a slam dunk, in my opinion. Now, here's where things can get tricky as well because I can also see uh, the LA Chargers trading back. In this scenario, let's see, I don't know exactly who or where they would go. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take New England, and we're going to come back up. We're going to come back up. We're going to keep our first round pick as well. Let's see if this will do it. That'll work. All right, so New England has jumped back up in front of the New York Giants, and they are going to go Malik Neighbors. They need weapons. They added multiple picks. They still now have an additional first round pick. So now where will the New York Giants go? That's 2 wide receivers off the board. I'm definitely in need of a weapon here. I know there's been talks of JJ McCarthy. I'm just not a believer in that. I'm going to go Rome Odunze. I think that the New York Giants are going to be in need of weapons. And Rome Odunze, these are the top 3. Rome Odunze rounding out the top 3. But I think that's definitely the pick here in the situation. Tennessee, I just think you're going to continue to build around your quarterback. They're doing a really good job of it, even though I don't believe in Tennessee. But we're going to go Joe Alt, continue to build up and beef up that offensive line. Now, here's a team that could also trade back. And I think that's going to be the case here. We are going to have another trade in which we have the Denver Broncos coming up with the Atlanta Falcons, and they're going to go get their quarterback. Let's see. Get it done. All right. Again, don't worry about the trades. I don't want to. There's no way they would trade that. We're just going to go what we got. All right. And we're going to go JJ McCarthy. I think this kind of makes sense here. They are in need of a quarterback. I do not believe that they would try to go up and get Bo Nix. I could see Michael Penix, but with the injury history, JJ McCarthy kind of seems like he's a player that Sean Payton would kind of love to build around. All right, so now if I am the Chicago Bears, regardless of how this pans out, you have your pick of quarterback, and then you can have one of the top 3 receivers or the first defensive player off the board. In this scenario, is the first defensive player off the board. I really, 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 really like Dallas Turner for them. I think with his length, his speed, opposite of Montez Sweat, you will have 2 definite bookends. And that's just going to continue to build up Eberflus' defense. Now, the New York Jets. I can see the New York Jets trading back a bit. I could also see them trying to take a weapon here. But I really, really, really just believe that you have to go offensive line. You're all in right now. We have got to make sure that Aaron Rodgers is healthy, that Aaron Rodgers is upright. And I'm going to give them Talisi Fuaga, a player who can play tackle or guard. They have an oft-injured tackle in Tyron Smith and Elijah Vera Tucker, who's also been injured and who is a guard. He can kick out and play tackle. So, I mean, this just gives you offensive line versatility to continue to build around your star quarterback, your star aging quarterback. Now, the LA Chargers have so many holes that, especially when it comes to their weapons, but I think that they will try to build up their offensive line. But I could also see them again attempting to trade back. Let's see. They already have moved back to the 11th overall pick. Let's see where they could go is one of many places. I could see them trading back again. So who could we see trading up to get Brock Bowers? And I think this here, knowing that this is my team, I just did a video of my top 5 teams that I feel can compete with the Chiefs or pose the biggest threat. One of them is Cincinnati, and it's because Joe Burrow is the only quarterback who's beaten Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs that's currently playing in the NFL. So we're going to go up. They're going to go up. Brock Bowers is on the board. They're in need of a tight end. They're in need of weapons. Let's see what we can. Might try to finesse this trade real quick. No, I don't care. Let's just do it. Let's just do it like that. Now my computer wants to act like it wants to run slow. All right, but Cincinnati, they made the jump up and they're going and they are taking Brock Bowers. Again, this is just me playing around with trades. Don't get butthurt about, oh, that'll never happen, this and that, whatever the case may be. Now, for the Atlanta Falcons, they've traded back. I think they want to go defense. You want to continue to build on that defensive side. I like Jared Verse, but I think Liatu Latu is the best pure edge rusher in this draft for what he is capable of doing. As long as his injury issues hold, he should definitely be a phenomenal player. Now, the Las Vegas Raiders, we need a quarterback. You picked up some quarterbacks. You got Brock Bowers. I'm sorry, Brock Bowers. You have Gardner Minshew, excuse me. But we're not going to reach here. We're going to go the best offensive lineman on the board. We need offensive lineman. Olu Fashanu out of Penn State. Whoever that quarterback is going to be, he will be protected. Now, here's the same thing that is going to fall on to the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints have a lot of holes, but right now it's going to be on the offensive line. Ryan Ramsey is not guaranteed to even be able to play this year. So that kind of pushes some of these defensive backs down a little bit. So we're going to go Troy Fautanu out of Washington. Player, again, can play guard or tackle. O-line versatility. This is something that you need when you need offensive line. Now, for my Indianapolis Colts, obviously I want us to take a cornerback. But when I'm looking at these next few players, where can they go? We could also definitely use a weapon. I think with this being such a deep draft that we will possibly hold off on that. So we're going to see about trading back, see if there's anyone who has any specific players that they would like to come up for. And a player that I think, just based off of this, and again, I'm doing this on the fly, no notes or anything, just fooling around with this mock draft. But the LA Rams lost defensive stalwart, lost a nice player. What can we do here to kind of get back? And you know that we know that the Rams are known for saying F those picks from time to time. So, and one thing that Chris Ballard is known for is trading back. He loves picking up picks. He does a lot of his damage in the second round. So with Jared, with the LA Rams, they're going to come up, play positions of need. They're going to come and they're going to go Jared Verse. I think this would be a really good pickup for them. This is somebody who, again, off that edge, helps solidify that defense, is a grinder, is a player that you can definitely build around and add to the younger pieces on that defense. Now, the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle definitely is in offensive line need. They would definitely need a guard, in my opinion, some interior offensive linemen, in my opinion. I think they're going to sit here. They're going to stay, and they're going to go the best center available, Jackson Power Johnson. We're going to be a bully team. We're going to come and we're going to run the ball. We're going to run it down your throat. We're going to make this. We're going to make this NFC West. We're going to get back to the physical NFC West. Now here we go. Jacksonville Jaguars, a player that I think fits them. They can really go any direction here with Terrion Arnold, Quentin Mitchell. But I think Terrion Arnold is a player who fits the bill with them more based off of what they do defensively. I really like Terrion Arnold. Again, as Colts fan, I really don't like the pick, but everyone's going to have to get somebody. Now, the LA Chargers, they were able to trade back, pick up picks, and they were still able to leave with an offensive lineman, J.C. Latham. You have your book in offensive tackles, and this is what this team's going to do. This team is going to protect Justin Herbert. They're going to run the football down your throat, smash ball, and then they're going to hit you with play action pass, and you need an offensive line to do that. Harbaugh in the playoffs got to see Alabama's offensive line up front. He's got to see this kid up front. So this is the move that he makes. Now, the Indianapolis Colts were able to trade back a few picks, pick up a little something, and they're going to still be able to end up with Quinyon Mitchell. This is a player that, in my opinion, he probably would be gone by now, but it just kind of works out here for us. So for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I have consistently have given them Amarius Mims. I am going to switch it up, and I am going to give them actually Brian Thomas Jr. I think they with the trading away of Deontay Johnson, this kind of boost this makes the position a little bit more needy. But now you have two big physical freaks who can stretch the field with George Pickens and Brian Thomas Jr., giving Russ or Justin Fields more weapons. Now, this could be a player here or a team here with the Miami Dolphins that I could definitely see as well. Trading back, attempted to accumulate more picks. They are in need of offensive line. And I'm going to give them Graham Barton. Graham Barton gives so much position versatility. He can play anywhere up and down the offensive line, and that's kind of what you need right now for the Miami Dolphins. Now, with the Philadelphia Eagles, they have been on a re-signing spree, if you will, of picking up and bringing back and retaining their players. I love the addition of Saquon Barkley. Defensively, they will be a lot better, especially up front. I don't think they're in need of anything specifically offensively. Defensively, I think they could go linebacker or secondary, corner or safety. They did re-sign Reed Blankenship, bringing in Chauncey Gardner Johnson. But I really like Cooper DeJean. He's a player who, in my opinion, can doggone mimic Chauncey. But with Lane Johnson being older and attempting to build around that offensive line, you have Amarius Mims here. That's the route I'm going to go. What Georgia player is the Philadelphia Bulldogs going to pick now? So now here we go with the New England Patriots, who are able to finesse, make a trade back up and go Malik Neighbors. Now, here with the quarterback situation, you could definitely use offensive line. You can use another cornerback. We're going to beef up our offensive line here. We're going to continue to build. We're going to allow, you know what? The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm looking at it, I actually think Michael Penix could be a really good player here for them. It gives them an opportunity to have a player who can sit a few games. That's the route I'm going to go. I really like this kid throwing the football. The ball jumps out of his hand, and now you have a playmaker with Malik Neighbors. I really like what they have. They still have a ton of money to build for the future. With the Bills window closing, Miami Dolphins could basically on the same path, and health, injury, and age with the New York Jets. You could be looking at a complete turnaround when it comes to the AFC East. Now, the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion, they're going to have to go offensive line. You cannot lose your starting center, your starting left tackle. What are we going to do here? I think they need defensive line help as well. And even the craziness of it being Michael Parsons is being spoken of as being a problem or something like that. But Dallas kind of does their negotiating with their players through the media, and that's kind of what I believe is taking place here. I don't think they'll reach here at offensive line when you have some of the defensive line players available. And I'm going to give them Brian Murphy II out of Texas, keep the Texas kid home, and shore up that rush defense. I mean, they were getting the ball ran down their throat repetitively against those smash mouth teams. Green Bay Packers are in a great position. They can kind of go anywhere that they choose to. We'll need someone opposite Jair Alexander. But you also need a safety as well. I love, again, Cooper DeJean for them, but I'm going to give the Green Bay Packers, they're going to go Nate Wiggins. Get you somebody opposite of Jair Alexander, someone who is feisty, someone who's fast, someone who's tall, someone who's going to be able to have the recovery speed. He is a little light in the tail. He needs, to add some pounds, but I like the 1-2 punch of Nate Wiggins and Jair Alexander. So for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at pick 26, they're kind of in a position to really do whatever it is that they choose to do. We did just trade away Carlton Davis, and you have a player of Kool-Aid McKinstry's talent on the board. Excuse me. So that's the route that they're going to go. Now, here we are with the Arizona Cardinals, who selected Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4. They're able to go anywhere on the field. They have a ton of holes. This is where Arizona's going to have to build through the draft. They did not do a lot in free agency, and they have a butt ton of picks. So we're just going to continue to try to get good players at positions of need. And you have a player of Johnny Newton out of Illinois. I think this is a good value pick as well as a position of need. Here we go with the Buffalo Bills, who we know have traded away Stefon Diggs. So obviously the thought is that they're going to need a wide receiver. They have Curtis Samuel to play with Khalil Shakir. Both of those players are somewhat on the smaller side. Neither of them are Stefon Diggs. But here I think you're going to go best player available, or are we going to trade back? Do you want to take the 4th, 5th wide receiver? But when you have a player of Adonai Mitchell, AD Mitchell out of Texas, size, speed guy, minimal drops, this is someone that Josh Allen could definitely use. Now, this is a pick here. You will see that I believe this pick here could be traded. The Detroit Lions. I definitely think that this could be a pick traded for another veteran player, especially when you see what is taking place. Detroit should have been in the Super Bowl. I know they've got to feel like they've given that they gave that game against San Francisco away. So we'll see how that goes. But here we're going to see what we can add, where we can add it. We lost CJ Gardner-Johnson. They love the 3 safety sets. And I think Cooper DeJean just is a player that he's not going to get out of the first round. You really just have to kind of see where he fits. And there's multiple teams, in my opinion, that he does fit with. The Baltimore Ravens lost a lot of offensive linemen with a player like Tyler Guyton. I think that's just kind of it. We're going to go Tyler Guyton. You have to beef up. You don't get King Henry and not put people in front of him that can block. The San Francisco 49ers, I think they will definitely have to build up their offensive line. But what we know and what they love to do defensively is build on that defensive front. Putting a player of Chop Robinson ability opposite of Nick Bosa with the depth that they have, with the rotation that they run, that's a great value pick in my opinion. Because Chop Robinson he's somewhat of a tweener, but if you put him on you move him up and down and take advantage of his athletic traits, like I said, opposite of Nick Bosa and what that defensive line and that defensive front has, that could be a really good pick. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs, for what they have going on with Rashee Rice, I think that they're going to need to take a wide receiver. I think they're going to want to take a wide receiver here as well. I could also see them trading back. But for me here, we're going to finish out. I'm not going to go too crazy here. I don't think Xavier Worthy is what they need, especially when they did sign Hollywood Brown. Keon Coleman is in my opinion, I don't think he'll be a first round pick. But right here, based off what we have available, Keon Coleman is going to be my player, is going to be my pick. Again, excuse me. But if you look, we had a good bit of trades take place. 3 quarterbacks. First 3 picks are quarterbacks. The next 3 are wide receivers. The first defensive player doesn't go until pick 9. So that kind of lets you know, based off of what's available and what's here, that this is a very high and deep offensive draft class. We'll see how everything goes. But again, it's just a mock draft. I'm working on a complete mock draft, a bigger mock draft, one again that I won't be using the website for. Hopefully that any lagging or anything that it be to a minimal. So be on the lookout for that again. Mock draft Monday, got them going every Monday up until the draft. We will be doing some draft grades and draft recap. Again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Also, check me out on the Double D's podcast. We got some good things going on over there as well. But for the time being, thank you for rocking with me. Appreciate all the love. Appreciate you liking. Appreciate you subscribing. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you giving me your time. Y'all have a good one.